Heat 1 of round 2 features Sage Erickson and Coco Ho. Two surfers with plenty of talent. Coco trying to get herself back to the top end of the ratings, where she featured as a rookie, and the last few years have been a bit of a struggle for her. Sage Erickson, on the other hand, she's been on the up the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, definitely. You're watching the evolution of both of these ladies' careers. Coco came in with a lot of expectations, I think, in her rookie season, taking out Rookie of the Year. And then Sage Erickson, she fell off tour, she's back on, and then really put her hand up to be a contender. Last year, we just figured that she had just put in that hard work and really found a bit of confidence in herself, and that went a long way in 2017.
Something starting to stand up here, just on 21.5 minutes to go. I guess the other benefit that Sage Erickson has out there is her backhand is probably her strongest weapon. She's opting for the right here on this first wave, though. 21.5 minutes to go as the Californian lays down a nice track to get this ride started. Carves back into the pocket once again. Just a transition turn to set up this inside. A positive start. Wants to stay with this wave and get the finish. Commits to the inside. Tags the section. And now looks to bring it right through to the inside over the rock shelf there. But a really strong start for Erickson.
Sage, similar kind of approach. You mentioned that turn from her where she's able to hold that line, but I feel like Coco's was a little bit more critical, but Sage doing well to stay activated on this ride. And then you mentioned that wind just getting her hung up there, but still clean finish for Sage. So two beautiful rides from these ladies.
Sage up on that ride, so getting some speed up before you lay into these tracks is important, as Coco gets an opportunity and a huge turn in the pocket to kick off this ride. Another big slice off the top. Coco goes looking for the finish, but it's not really there, so she opts out, but I love those first two turns.
Wow, what a great opening exchange from both of these ladies. I love the way that Coco was just able to hold the rail. We mentioned how clean and crisp she gets in that critical section, just stays so tight to the pocket, and the judges are going to keep a close eye on that. She doesn't go too far out on the face. She tries to mix it up with a bit of a layback there, doesn't really get that connection, but still, this opening maneuver right here, watch that bottom turn around the whitewater and in that cupping section, that critical part of the lip, and holds that line, stays low to her surfboard, very compact out of that maneuver. A lot of spray thrown out the back with that offshore wind. It just accentuates it, and then straight into that bottom turn, and again in that critical section, so never goes too far out on the flat part of the face.
Heat unfolding here to kick things off for the second round. The women's Margaret River Pro underway. Coco Ho kicked this one off with a 7.6. Now looking for a backup. Drives off the bottom. Beautiful bottom turn. And has enough speed to let go of a good carve off the top. Really a beautiful pace to her surfing out here at the moment, Coco. Working this one over. She'll kick out once again, opting not to do the lap around the break. Returning to the lineup via her own steam.
Yeah, you can see both of these ladies wanted this wave, and Coco lays into it again. So hearing that 7.67, she's probably thought to herself, this kind of surfing is getting well rewarded. Just stick to that solid rail game.
Looking so sharp, so waiting on the numbers to come through for that second score. Sage Erickson, meanwhile, out the back with priority.
Probably got the opportunity to see a bit of Coco's wave as she was making her way back out to the lineup. So has a clear idea in her head of what's scoring at the moment, but Coco's just staying so involved.
Really busy at the moment, so getting a hit in on the lip. She kind of has to, because this wave's a lot smaller than her last two rides. Probably won't go into the top two, but certainly looking sharp, the 26-year-old today.
Yeah, Coco is just making a meal of this lineup at the moment. You think about how much time these competitors have spent on the road just this year alone.
We'll have a look at this one. Just threatening the break. The offshore just really holding it up. Coco deep. She's going to take off under the lip. But she does get a nice section here to work with. Super stylish through that first turn. Tries to attack the lip. So difficult to do in this really strong offshore. She's going to bring this one through to the inside. Trying to better a 5.27. Will that one get her any more points, Rosie?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of a mistake from Coco. She's not going to, improve her situation. Sage Also trying to have a look at that wave. Coco elects to use her priority, swings into that opening carving maneuver, and then this wave kind of flattens out on this bumpy ledge. She must take confidence out of the fact that she's so capable of getting that number.
Well, just over 6.5 minutes to go here, and Sage has identified this as a good scoring wave. Looking for a 7.87, has to lay down a big turn here. Nice hook, the wave's going to split in half though. Sage is going to get out of there. You could just see it had no workable wall, nothing she could really lay into, even on the first turn really. Maybe hurting themselves or their equipment, and they're really going after it. Here goes Sage on the outside. So still chasing a 7.87. The last wave of Coco dropped as a 3.5. Didn't go into a top two. Big turn off the top there from Sage. And that turn accentuated by the offshore breeze. And she gets a good finish as well. So this is going to get her right back in this heat with 4.5 minutes to go.
Definitely. I think that's going to improve on her situation. I don't think it's going to be the 7.87 that she requires that first turn. Like you mentioned, just finishing on the rocks, and remembering back a few years ago where Coco in a free surf actually got stuck on one of those rocks. Her leash got wrapped around and she couldn't get her head to the surface to get a breath before the sets were coming. So there are those memories that you have. Sage just having a look if she maybe took off some bark off her feet.
Of course she's going to hit the end section, but there was a solid turn off the top on this ride.
Yeah, that first section, there was a couple mishaps, the fins disengaging, but then that second turn, just well committed into that lip. And this is that inside section, just committed to finishing off that ride, that shallow shelf. You can even see a bit of the seaweed just below sea level, just waiting to be approached. But that first turn right there, couple mishaps on the rail. And then this first turn makes connection with that lip, a lot of spray. That's a statement turn right there.
It's come through at a 5.6, so chipping away at the required score. Now looking for a 7.28. Sage is up again, has a strong backhand, gives it everything there, but that's the effect of that strong offshore. She gets a little hung up. 2.5 minutes to go. Strider, the ladies in the first heat of the day are turning it on for you. A birthday performance.
She needs to get one more really good wave. It's going to be tough to get over that 7.5 mark.
Well, she's taking off at the moment on the backhand. 1.5 minutes to go. Sage is searching for a 7.28. She needs to attack this section. Winds through a backhand carve. Wasn't really the steep wall she was looking for. She's trying to bring this one right through to the inside. Maybe better the 5.6 and just chip away at it. Milking this one through to the inside, hoping for more.
We can tell how much energy these ladies have used out in this lineup just by the body language.
It's been down and out. So putting together a pretty decent heat score total despite that flu. But Coco looking unbeatable, I think, from the opening exchange. Just a little more attention to detail, bit more powerful, bit more committed in the pocket, and some bigger numbers as a result.
This is one of the stronger performances, and you can tell how high she's riding on confidence at the moment. And just knowing that she's got all those elements, she's going to take a lot out of this heat, and we'll see if she can go forward with a lot of momentum throughout this event.
Well, in celebrating her 9th year on the championship tour, approaching her 10th, Coco dropped a documentary recently, XO Coco Ho, and the final statement, well, I don't want to wreck it for you, but I will. She said, I'm going to go for the world title, and it was great to hear, and I think, she is really committed. It was on show there in the first heat of the second round. Coco Ho with a heat score total of 12.87 is heading on to round 3.